ever starts now. So
best year ever starts now, of course. All right. Welcome, everybody. Thanks for joining us today. The TheShareGroup Success Series webinar featuring, once again, Coach Pipes, T3 Nation. This is our third webinar we've done with Coach Pipes. First two were fantastic. Those are on the TheShareGroup YouTube channel for you to go back and review. I'm going to just do a little bit of upfront promo that I'd love to share with you before we dig into the content and start our best year ever. I'm going to start with yours, Bill. After attending your event in Vegas, I want to make certain everybody is aware of the upcoming Sales Power Conference. Do you want to give a quick outline on that coming up in Nashville next month, sir?
yeah, absolutely. It's January 26th, 27th, 28th, 29th, I believe. And for those of you that have never attended, I've been doing this type of event for almost 20 years now, man. And it's different than most real estate events because most real estate events are going to parade people across the stage, have a whole bunch of people talking about, hey, here's what I did. And of course, we have our panels and we have our top producers that are there. But this is a boots on the ground type of an event. This is where I believe in three things. And I taught this to you guys on previous calls. Great salespeople who are going for seven figures or whatever the goal is. They're skill-based, they're strategy-based, and they're standard-based. And in this event, it is a strategy-based event where we're teaching you like the entire strategy for your past clients and how to be able to elicit 10% from that. That's marketing, that's scripts, that's dialogues. It's the actual, everything that goes along with it. And when we do that, not just for past clients, we do it for your lead follow-up and lead generation systems, all lead generation systems. We work with you on your listing presentation. And it's actually, Tim, you've seen this. It's a portion, 20 to 30% of the class is role play. Because we know that this is a skill-based market that we're going into and that we're in right now. And the agents that are winning are the ones that are skilled, right? So it is absolutely average person sets 3 appointments in the class, right? Because you don't just learn it. I force you to go out and use it in the evenings, right? When the class is done. So you get homework, man. And so you walk out of there just super empowered because you know what to say, you know how to say it. You have the strategy behind how to generate more leads and your past clients and sphere, your online lead generation and open houses. Those are the key 3 that I always teach. And then we also sprinkle in some expireds and some for sale by owners. But day number 1 is all that. Day number 2 is all the listing process, listing presentation. We go into some NLP and influence patterns. And then day number 2 is the buyer presentation. Day number 3 is all listing, man. Because I want to bring back, bring back the listing agents, man. Where we used to be, at the Mike Ferry days, bro, we used to go 70% of our business was listing based, right? And 30 to 40% was buyer based. And the whole industry has shifted around with the low cost basis or now high cost basis of buyer leads, man. And I'm like, nothing actually drives profit more than listings, man. So there's my pitch, right? Come, we give you a triple your money back guarantee that if you're not satisfied with the event, we'll not just give you what you paid, we'll give you 3x that as well too. That's how solid we are in it.
I will never hear or say, how are you, the same way again after going to your conference.
Correct.
And it's correct. And I was working with a couple of ISAs around the team yesterday, and I heard a very soft, how are you? And I go, no, we're going to do that different, okay? And why? All right, so 2 things on the TheShareGroup. We started this 60 days ago. We are offering free cold calling, and this is an opportunity for your TheShareGroup list to be called every day at no cost. And the entry point to getting these folks in your pipeline is phone outreach, email, opt-in through the phone call, and then CMA follow-up and opportunity to say, if somebody is looking to buy in your neighborhood, this is my most passive question, which I like. If somebody's looking to buy in your neighborhood, would it be okay if I reached out to you to let you know about that? I'm not interested in selling. I totally get that. But if somebody's interested in your neighborhood, would you be okay? Or would it be a problem if I was to call you and tell you about that? Let you know. So we're going to get those people in the pipeline through the email adoption, and then you're going to do your home bot and your drip marketing. So you go from 100, 200, 500, 700 people who know who you are and are getting real-time market information from you, and you're going to be their expert. We have to get that step 1. get your leads from the share group, and then we'll connect you with free cold calling to get those folks into your pipeline. You nurture them along, and that's how we get the listings second half of 25. The other thing that we're doing, based upon going to Sales Power, we have all this great mortgage information. A lot of our folks are realtors and mortgage brokers, loan officers. Check out this thing that Dan Penn, our CTO, built. You can go right into your state, your county, pick the loan type you're interested in, pick the rate type you're interested in, and then give a date rate, a interest rate range. So you can go, I want 7% under 800,000 and loan originated these dates, and find out exactly how many leads are available in the marketplace. So the loan officers, mortgage folks are loving this, because it used to be how many do you have? Call me back. I'll send you an email. You get now real-time market counts for all of the loans. And you can also find sellers in there, folks who have variable rate or adjustable rate loans that started between 2019 and 23 coming up for maturity. Those might be people interested in selling as well. So check out mortgage leads also on the shop. Shop.theshare. Check that out. All right, I'm going to take that off and welcome Coach Pipes. We're excited about our best year ever in 2025. What do you have to share with us today? What's really making things happen for your folks? And 2 ways to participate. You can chat, and we'll pay attention to that. And you can also just raise your hand or turn your camera on, and we'll get you and take questions live as we go through this. So thank you again for being here. And thank you, Coach Pipes.
Yeah, Tim, man. I love being partnered with you guys, man, because, you know, I've had multiple mentors. One of my mentors is a gentleman. If you don't follow him, he's actually not a little, he's extremely harsh. His name is Dan Pena, DANPENA, right? And you should check him out. He's called I think it's the $1 trillion man, right? He used to be the billion. Now he's the $1 trillion man because he generated that much revenue through capital and everything else. And I was just watching one of his videos, and it just really struck me, because he said, you are X number of cold calls away from being a millionaire. And it like resonated with me, dude. And he said, because he's talking to people that do venture capital and things along those lines. And he said, you're 2,000 calls away from being a millionaire. I actually did the calculations based upon, and I know this based upon our ecosystem and our clients. It's about every 100 conversations, someone generates a lead or generates a closing, Tim, right? And that used to be down at around 50 or 60 or 70 when the market was more robust. But understand, we are operating, guys, in a very, you guys know this. I don't need to tell you, you're out there hunting and slaying dragons every single day. We are in the most constricted real estate market since 1995. It is bananas, right? Data shows we're going to come in about 3.7 million sales. I remember thinking, man, when it was like, oh man, we're going to go below 4 million, right? And that was like, right? And now we're at we were at 3.49 back in November when I talked to you guys. Unfortunately, that's gone up a little bit post-election, but still. So what we're operating inside of is about 100 conversations equals a closing for our ecosystem of really highly skilled agents, et cetera. And I did the calculations, and I just this is not part of my presentation, but it's just something that Chase, I went, oh damn, dude, I got to share this with him. You're 6,000 prospecting calls away in 2025 from $1 million worth of production. I want you to really think about that for a second. And being partnered with you guys, man, it's so powerful, because people are always like, who do I call? And what do I in? And do I have numbers? And we're like, go here, use this, and freaking pick up the phone, and you're going to succeed. But 6,000 would be 60 transactions with an average sales price of $15,000 to $17,000. You're $1 million producer at that point. But see, Tim, I notice this. People, and I'll turn it over to you because I can see you're chomping at the bit, man.
Well, I just want you to define calls.
That's talking. That's not a call. That's conversations, man.
Okay.
That's actually talking to a decision-making adult. Is your mommy or daddy there does not count, right? Voicemails don't count, right? It is you talking to, it's an actual conversation. Now, obviously, you have different measures of that. FUB, follow-up boss, says it's 2 minutes or more. No, I'm at they pick up, if they hang up, it doesn't matter. If they pick up the phone, it's 100 of those that equals a transaction. So What is that? That's like 30 conversations a day. See, I think the challenge with our industry is this. We've gotten lazy, we've gotten fat, we've relied on technology. And instead of actually having the grit, the determination, the drive, the push, all of that, that like in the 90s, I feel like back in my day, in the 90s and the early 2000s, when you were just, you had no other choice but to pick up the phone. But I think if every single person on this call really made a commitment and said, I'm doing 3 hours of lead gen, I'm going to talk about that today, you would have your best year ever, hands down. Okay. Is that hard? Hell yes. Right. But if you're going to earn $1 million or if you want 500,000, cool. Go for 15 conversations a day. You know what I mean? And you do that 200 to 220 days a year, right? You're going to earn $500,000. You're going to earn the money that a CEO makes. Like, think about that. You're going to earn the money that surgeons make, and you're going to do that serving people and helping individuals in the biggest financial transaction of their life, which is the purchase of of their home, man. It's like a joke, Chase, right? Hey, by the way, peeps, I would love it. I know like you don't like turning your cameras on or whatever, but I have a rule, and that is if your clothes are on, your cameras are on. If your clothes are off, that's your get out of jail free card. So I would truly appreciate it if some of you guys, because otherwise I'm just going to talk to Chase, right? So and Chase is going to get, like he's going to get the whole.
He's going to get one-on-one coaching. He's going to get
one-on-one coaching.
Love it.
But and people don't there's only one other trainer out there that really talks about prospecting at the level that I do. And that's my mentor, Mike Ferry. Right. And so Mike's 80 something just turned 80 years old and just amazing. He is the GOAT in my opinion. And I am honored to take that baton and carry it, which is, if you want to earn, exorbitant amounts of money and serve people in real estate, you got to pick up the phone. So a couple of things here as we get started. So that was just a little sidebar that while I was prepping for the call, that jumped up in my Instagram, and I just went, oh my gosh, if people really got 3,000 is 500,000 or 3,000 is 500,000, 6,000 is $1 million, man, that's going to be 2 to 3 hours a day, maybe 4, right? And you committed to that and you did that 200 to 220 days a year, you would not even recognize your life at the end of 2025, guys. It literally would be unrecognizable. Now you take that grit and you take, Tim, that determination and you take that discipline of doing the job every single day that you need to do. And you layer on top of that, what I'm going to share with you right now, what has evolved in the real estate market over the course of, the last 30 days since I've talked to you guys, right? It is throwing gasoline on a fire. Okay. So what's happened? You guys know me. For those of you that don't, I love data. I teach a process of selling called education-based data-driven selling, which is you prospect to find the motivated, you follow up to educate the motivated, and you present to close the motivated. Right? It's really simple, right? I prospect so I find motivated people to listen to me so I can educate them and control the narrative, which I've worked with you guys in previous calls. Controlling the narrative means nothing more than offsetting the false information that they're getting so they can make more intelligent decisions. And then I present to them so that I can close on them and they can choose me. Well, part of that education is understanding the market, understanding what's going on. Lawrence Yun, if you don't know who he is, you can Google his name. Just put in Lawrence Yun, YUNNAR. And if you spell it wrong, don't worry about it. Google has this wonderful way of going, did you really mean this guy? And you click on that. Lawrence Yun just came out. He is the chief economist for the last 20 some odd years for the National Association of Realtors. The dude is really smart. He just came out with his projections for what's going to happen in 2025. He's projecting we're going to have double-digit gains of 10% or more in the amount of real estate sold. Yes. Well, I can't imagine us, Chase, going any further down, right? Like below 3.7, but I couldn't imagine us going below 4 million, right? So that's number one. And I'm like this, when I saw that, Timmy, I'm like, hell yes. Okay, good. We got upward tick of trajectory in terms of the amount of sales that are going to take place. And even more exciting is that we're going to see anywhere from a 4 to a 7% increase in home values. So this next year has like more sales, higher price appreciation, right, than what we've seen in the past, which means it really is the perfect storm for that gritty, determined agent that is strategic in their approach. That's all of you that I would imagine who are on this call right now. Now, also, you look at Ishbia, Matt Ishbia, who is the founder and the owner of UWN, United Wholesale Mortgage Group, based out of Detroit, Michigan, which is one of the largest mortgage entities, private mortgage entities on the planet, is saying by the end of Q1, we're going to be down in the low sixes. And myself, Logan Motoshami, who is the chief economist for Housing Wire, Mike Simonson, who is the owner of Altos Research, all of which are people that you should be listening to. Logan Motoshami, spell it however you want, do the Google search, it'll come up. Mike Simonson on YouTube, Altos, right? We're all projecting and see that where we need to be for this market to truly chase takeoff is about 6.2 to 6.4% and hold for 30 days. So if we can get there in Q1, right, there's this pent-up demand. And by the way, mortgage purchase applications, Tim, have been the highest that they've been in 12 months now at this point, right? Even at 6.7, 6.8%. So think about what that means for you. What that means for you, for all of you that are listening, is if you can have the right strategy right now for the next 30 days, you can set yourself up for an insanely effective Q1 rolling into the spring markets that many of you have, which are very robust, right? And come out of the gates really strong. So when we talk about our best year ever, here's what I'm going to say. Your best year ever is right now. It's right now in the actions and the activities and what you're doing. It will set you up because there's going to be, right? Dude, this was crazy for me, Chase, Tim. And I'll talk to John. I'll even talk to Derek that I can't see, an IP Honey iPhone, right? That's down there as well too. It's crazy to me that 52% of all agents in North America haven't sold a home this year. Is that bananas? That's according to NAR. 52%, guys, of agents out there. So what does that tell us? Those are the agents that are for all effect and purposes, they are out of the business. And the other 48% are not working right now, or a large portion of them. We know this happens this time of the year. So this is not the holiday season. Guys, ready? This is separation season, baby. This ain't the holiday season. This is separation season. If you're willing to put in the work and you're willing to do what it is that you need to do. We've got 11 more business calendar days, right? We got 11 more business days, 21-ish, 20 to 21 calendar days. And if you want to have your best year ever, believe it or not, I think it comes down to these 11, 21 days, right? And what you do right now, because what it does is it sets a standard for you, the actions, the activities, the work that you're doing. And I'm going to lay it out for you. I got about 6 or 7 things that I want you guys doing between now and the end of the year that I'm like, cool. Because here, Chase, ever notice this, bro? Ever notice that as goes January, so goes Q1? If you have a really good January, it has this ability to set a pace for the first quarter, and you feel good in the first quarter. You got a lot of sales, Tim, right? And then at that point, Kim, right? You're like, got your momentum, you get your swag, you feel that momentum, right? It leads into Q2, and then it's just onward and upwards from there. But okay, that's best year ever trajectory. On the flip side, you have a crappy January because you didn't do what you needed to do in December, right? Or portion of November. You're in your head for Q1. You're in a state of lack, and then it just starts to spiral. And your drunk monkey, which is what my buddy Matthew Ferry calls your ego, or that internal dialogue and conversation, right? Starts talking and, oh my gosh, can you really do it? Are you going to pay the bills? And then you just start to get in this state of lack, this state of desperation. And then you can't sell shit. Excuse my language. You really can't sell anything because you got the commission breath. Like, oh shit, how am I going to pay for my mortgage, my rent, my house, my kids, my whatever? So really these 11, 21 and into January are critical to you having your best year ever. Does that make total sense, guys? In the chat, you can just say yes. Then I always believe in this. Mike Ferry taught me this. It's called can you guys see this? 180-degree theory. What I look at is, if I want to produce something outside and better and greater and more excellent than my competition, I want to look at everything that they're doing and do the opposite. Right. So if all the agents are pulling back or they're beginning to think holiday season, I'm thinking separation season. I'm hitting the gas right now. Right. I know there'll be time to actually pause during the summer when I take vacation or whatever. But right now, if everyone's beginning to lose their focus, I'm going to get more focus. I'm going to push a little bit harder. So I've got 6 things for you guys here today. Okay. That I am working. You like my fancy freaking PowerPoint today? This is how I do my stuff, man. Like, you guys have seen me like work the PowerPoints and it's wonky. I'm old school. I'm in excess. Remember in excess, Tim? Do you remember the video? Try not to hate your mate. Remember that? So like when he has like the cards, that's me. So here's number 1. Okay. Really, for the next 30 days, minus the time that you're going to take off. And do I want you to take off? Yes. Am I encouraging you to? Sure. I would be looking at Christmas, unless you got pre-planned vacations. If you're around, it's Christmas Eve and Christmas. It's New Year's Eve and New Year's. That's it, man. The rest of the time, we're pushing. Okay. And for that time and leading into 2025, and as you go into 2025, point number 1 is this. If you can, and you have an office that you can go into, a physical office, number 1 is this: suit up, boot up, and get my butt into the office every single day. Suit up, boot up, and get my butt into the office every single day. Right? Why is that? I'm very clear. This year, Tim, I'm buying a commercial building for our organization. We've been virtual and doing whatever. And what I'm very clear on, and this isn't me, this is through data that's actually been done. You guys remember when Facebook was like, we're totally going virtual, and Instagram and Twitter was like, we're going to have everyone work from home. Well, you know what they did? They recognized that ain't a good model. And they backtracked on that and started pulling people back into the office. Why? Because when human beings are around other people, right, they perform better. Oh, but coach, man, I get distracted. No, the big distractions are at your house. It's the laundry, it's Oprah, it's all that other crap. It's the dogs, it's, like whatever. When you come into the office and you get dressed, right? There's a wonderful book called Dress for Success. You guys should read it. It's an old school book from the early 90s. It's still very poignant. They established that coming into an office increases productivity 27 to 35%. Think about that. So if I want to pop myself into a higher degree of performance, I'm going to get out of my normal environment. I'm going to get into the office. I'm going to go through the ritual and the routine, right? And when I'm there, I'm going to do what it is that I'm laying out here. The worst place that you can be is at your home during the holidays. There are more distractions. You guys know this. I don't need to tell you. You experience it. There's more distractions. There's more stuff, right? I want to have everything bunkered off, right? Where I'm like very clear that this is game time, right? For these next 30 days. That's number 1. Number 2 is this. If we go back to 6,000 equals $1 million, isn't that a great thought? I just need 6,000 conversations in a year to be able to get to $1 million. I just need 3,000 to get to, and maybe it's less if the market gets stronger and gets we get a little wind in our sails. I'm demanding of everyone inside of G3 Nation, which is my coaching company, that they're doing a minimum of 2 hours a day. Okay. Like that they're coming in and and I'm pushing a lot of them to the 3 hours a day. Now, understand something. I'm not expecting them to do this for the entire year. I'm just expecting them to sprint for the next 30 days. Let me say that again. I'm not expecting them to do this. This is not a marathon commitment. This is, can I sprint at 2 to 3 hours a day of lead follow-up, of lead generation, of reaching out to my clients, of following up with those individuals that want to buy or sell, right? Where I'm coming in. So number 1, I get my butt into the office. Well, getting into the office is one step, but number 2, I need to make sure that the time that I have while I'm in the office from 8 o'clock until 12 o'clock is as efficient as possible. So now I'm going nose down preparation and I'm doing 2 to 3 hours a day. Oh, coach, that's hard. No, you know what's hard? What's hard is what most agents are going to go through in January which is not having enough money, right? And having that, feeling that squeeze and feeling that stress. I've been talking to my daughter about this, right? Because Tim, I love my Sophia. She's amazing. She's 16 years old and she is the greatest teacher in my life right now. I will tell you that. Like, she is teaching me lessons because boy, oh boy, is she challenging me, right? Like this beautiful 16-year-old girl. And I've been working with her on discipline. And here's what I said to her. I've been quoting over and over and over again, Jim Rohn. You're going to experience pain either way in life. Do you guys get that? Like, I just want you to understand that, right? The only time that we stop experiencing some type of pain is when we are dead. Okay. And I hope that is a long way away for every single one of you that is on this call. But see, either you're going to experience the pain of discipline on yourself, which is ounces, or you're going to experience the pain of regret, which weighs tons. I love that quote from Jim Rohn. So I want you to really look at, you get to choose the pain, right? And for me, I don't know about you guys, I'd rather choose the pain of getting my butt up, getting into the office and doing 2 to 3 hours than getting to January 15th or the 30th and going, oh my gosh, I really wish I would have worked harder back in December, you know? So that's number one. And number two. Oh, okay. Tim, you were mentioning this. I've got everyone doing CMAs to all of their past clients over the course of the next 30 days, right? Anyone that bought from them, okay, obviously if they sold and didn't buy, no need for a CMA because they didn't buy a house. But if they bought this year, last year, I don't care when it is, I'm having everyone on the daily send out 5 CMAs. And look, we know this time of the year, my friends, business slows down, right? The amount of activity in marketplaces slows down. We have a little bit more time on our hands. And that time can either get filled with distractions or it can get filled with strategy, right? It's up to you on which one. It's either, if you don't fill it with something, nature hates a vacuum, abhors a vacuum, and it will fill in your time with distractions. Or with that additional time, I've got them doing 5 CMAs. They're sending them out to their past clients, right, in an email format. And then they're following up that day saying, did you get it? Wanted to talk to you. Hey, look at how much your home appreciated in value over the course of the last 3 years. Or, hey, I know that your home went backwards in value, but let me share some good news about what's happening in 2025 and why the market is going to support you actually recouping that and possibly moving forward. Okay. And so it's a giving. This is the season of giving. You know, we're giving CMAs out to them. We're giving hope. And then all that you need to ask is one simple question. That one simple question is this: what are your plans with the house for the next 2 to 3 years? What are your plans with the house for the next 2 to 3 years? It's not a salesy. It's not whatever. It's just checking in with them, right? I want to provide as much value to my clients as I possibly can. And do you know how many people actually go to Zillow on the daily? I don't even know what the number is anymore, but it is in the millions that go to Zillow. And do you know why they go there? Do you know what they're looking for? Sure, some are looking for houses, but a lot are looking at their home evaluation, right? They're looking for that Zestimate. And we all know that Zestimate is BS, right? So, all right. And so I want to give them something that's more accurate. I want to keep them off Zillow. I don't want them to be able to actually fall into that Zillow funnel and start getting marketed to. So I want them to rely on me more than they rely upon Zillow or some type of outside source. And by the way, why do they go to Zillow? Go to Zillow because dumbass agents that are out there don't do their job of being able to reach out and provide the clients what it is that they want, they need, and they desire. Okay. So every single client, 5 a day until you're through your clients into Q1, right? And just following up. What you'll find is this: when the market shifts, and it's going to, and it is right now, interest rates today gave us 3 basis point drop. Yay. You're going to notice interest rates are doing this right now. Down, pop back up just a little bit, hold, down, pop back up a little bit, hold, down, right? We're not seeing an off the cliff type of drop. We're just not. That's not. We're in a Tim. I think the market that we saw for mortgage rates was very unrealistic. I mean, that August, September, freaking 1 basis point drop in 30 days. That's not real. You know what I mean? That's not sustainable. That's what we're seeing now is a more traditional model of rates coming down. I'm going to talk about that here in a second, right? And as rates come down, more people are going to get activated wanting to sell. So what I want to do is I want to start to actually like chum the waters with my past clients because data shows us 76% of all listings, Tim, guess where they come from?
A new agent. Yes.
They come from past clients, dude. The source is past clients, right? Okay. We saw that in 2021, 2022, 2019, coming out of the pandemic. Rates came down. People were like, I want to sell. They're at parties. They're talking about what happened. And then from people that they know or people that they worked with, that's where the business came from. So I want you to capture that and I want you to be able to lay that up. Here's number 4. Oh, I love this. Write down the date, December the 18th. December the 18th. That's early Christmas. 1 week before Christmas, 7 days before Christmas. Anyone know what happens on that day? It's the Fed meeting. The Fed is meeting on December the 18th. Okay. There is I'm going to show this. I don't know if I can, do I have ability to share screen? I think I do.
Right by the lead button, red top right hand corner.
Okay. I'm getting the spinning wheel of death on my end. Come on. This is a new Apple computer. All of you non-Apple computers are going to tell me that's why you don't use an Apple computer, right? So
Microsoft meeting software on it.
Microsoft and iOS is like, no. Oh, right. So check. I'll just go ahead and give you guys the information and give you the data. I won't show you the slide. There is a 98.1% chance of the Fed cutting rates down by a 1/4 point on December the 18th. Okay. Now, last time we saw a Fed rate cut, it didn't impact us. Why? Because the 30 days prior to that rate cut, the markets moved substantially, and we saw it prior to. We saw it the 8 weeks actually prior to that September cut. We saw a massive drop prior to. We're not seeing that right now. So what that means is a traditional model, we should see downward pressure on the 10-year treasury note, which ultimately means mortgage rates come down, right? And we're down in that 6.4%, hopefully by the end of this year is what I'm hearing. Okay. Now, it's 94.9%. It moved a little bit, today. So it's 94.9% chance. Now, okay. With that, if we know the Fed's meeting, so this is number 4. Number 1 is suit up, boot up. Number 2 is 2 hours minimal prospecting. Number 3, reach out to all your past clients over the course of the next 30 to 60 days, doing the non-solicited CMA, touching base with them, providing value. Number 4 is if we know the Fed meets on December the 18th, then December the 19th and the 20th become massive follow-up days with your leads. They become massive follow. I'm going to call every lead I have on the 19th and the 20th, right? Because you better believe, do you think the media is going to be talking about the Fed cut rates again? The answer is definitively yes. And whether that has an impact on mortgage rates or not matters, but doesn't matter because most consumers hear Fed cut rates must be a good thing for me. Mortgage rates must have come down. And I think they will a little bit, right? So every one of my coaching clients and all 465 G3 Nation members, we're massively following up on those 2 days saying, did you see that the Fed met? Did you hear what Jerome Powell said, right? Did you see the impact on interest rates? I'm curious. How does this impact your decision to buy in 2025? Very simple script. Did you see that the Fed... Hey, Tim, it's Bill Pipes over here with Banana Real Estate. I'm giving you a call back just like I promised you and said that I would. Right? Hey, but by the way, man, are your plans still to buy sometime in 2025 because you guys are outgrowing the house? Yep, they are. Fantastic. Hey, listen, I promised to call you with any type of movement that happened in the market. Well, guess what? Did you see that the Fed met yesterday? Oh yeah, Bill, I did. Awesome. Okay. Did you hear what happened? I heard they cut rates. Absolutely. And it had an impact on mortgage rates by giving us 10, 15 basis points. In fact, we're at 6.5 right now. Isn't that exciting news? Yes. Perfect. So I'm curious, how does this movement in rates impact your decision to move faster? Okay. And so it gives me the excuse to be able to actually reach out to them, put some pressure on them, appropriate pressure, right? Because be very clear, Chase, rates come down, they hold in the 6.4s, right? Is that going to impact the market, guys? Do you think yes or no? Okay. We have had, as I said earlier in the call, we have had these last 4 weeks have been the best 4 weeks of mortgage purchase applications that we've had in 12 months. Okay. And that's at 6.8, guys. Like, think about that. That's at 6.8%. Imagine what happens at 6.4. All those buyers on the sidelines, right, are going to come back in, and all the new buyers that just got their applications in for purchase are going to flood the market as well too, making it more competitive, prices going higher, and the inventory starts to get gobbled up. By the way, inventory right now is at 2019 levels, right? So as these buyers come back in, for all of you listing agents, holy crap, man, this is a great time. So that's number 4. Number 5. Okay. Number 5, master what I call the future appointment setting dialogue. Master the future appointment setting dialogue. And I'll explain exactly what that is. When I had my real estate team, I had it, Tim, in Salt Lake City was where it was actually Utah, but Salt Lake City was our hub. We went down to St. George. I had a team in St. George. We had a team in Park City as our primary team. We did a couple hundred transactions with that team. We expanded over into Silicon Valley, right? And I partnered with a gentleman by the name of Alex Lair over there. We expanded down into Orange County. I partnered with a gentleman by the name of Randy Kosich. Then I partnered with Monica Reynolds down in San Diego and Chris Heller. So we were doing substantial amounts of business. I still was selling, even though I was on the road 100 days a year. And every year around this time, I noticed that no matter what I did, there was a certain group of sellers and buyers. I primarily worked with listings, but a group of listings, sellers that I could not, especially the week that I'm in within a week of Christmas, people just are like, no, like, I'm not doing anything, man. Like, and I'm a closer, guys. I'm not sure if you can tell, like, I love to close. I love me selling, man. And I noticed I damaged relationships because I would try to close a little bit too hard. Okay. Having great coaching from Mike and Monica, right? And having insight for myself, I realized it's probably better for me to set them up the first week of New Year's than it was to try and push them hard during the holidays. Right. And so I established a dialogue, and my thought was this: if I was going to take, and Tim, I would always take time off, like some time off. I'd go out of town or do whatever, because I worked my butt off during the rest of the year, the 200 and, the other 51 weeks out of the year. So I said, well, at least for 1 week, for 1 out of 52 weeks, I'm going to go drink pina coladas on the beach and put my feet up and get the hell out of Salt Lake City, man, where it's like 21 degrees right now. And so I also knew that because I'd taken that week off, I may not be very sharp, right? Or I'd lose a little bit of that momentum. And I wanted to come out of the gates really strong for the new year. And so what I would do, Chase, is I would load up 10 to 15 appointments for that first week through my prospecting that I was doing. So rather than trying to hardcore close on those individuals, I'd say, hey, listen, hey, Sean, totally appreciate the fact that you don't want to meet before the holidays. I'm going to honor that for you. Spend time with your family. However, I have a concern. Now, here's my concern in this moment. With rates dropping down and more buyers coming into the market, the concern is that we're going to get caught up in this new wave and have a lot of competition. So why don't we do this? And I really don't mind. Why don't we go ahead and set an appointment for that first week of the new year? Right? Okay. You get back in, get into your groove with work. we could do Tuesday or Wednesday, an afternoon or an evening. Which one of those would work best? That way we can actually strategize, right? Put our plan together so that we can attack when, as the market begins to shift. What would work better for you? That Tuesday at 4 or that Wednesday at 1? Okay. And so then I say, they say, well, it's a long way away. Don't worry about it, Sean. We'll set the appointment. I'll call you on the 1st to confirm it and make sure that that time still works. Now, what would happen, Chase, is 70% of them would hold, 30% of them would drop. Does that make sense? I'd call back, confirm, oh gosh, but still I got 70%, right? And now I come back in to my new year. I have no choice but to be on my A game. Why? Because I got 8 appointments, 10 that I set, 2 or 3 that dropped off, or 2 that dropped off, 1 that I rescheduled, right? But now I got 8 appointments. And when you got appointments, you guys ever notice, you're like, it doesn't matter what else is going on. It's an appointment, right? I got to be on. And so that just positions you to be able to make sure you come out of the gates strong. Okay. And then last but not least, number 6. Okay. Number 6, please protect your energy during the holidays. Please protect your energy, I've had the privilege of being around some of the great minds, both in real estate and outside of real estate, individuals that are worth 10 million, 100 million, some billions of dollars, right? And what I notice is this: every single one of them has an abundance of energy. And everyone says to me, Tim, well, of course they do. They're making all that money. I brought that to them. I said, do you guys have the energy before or after? Like, they're like, we're always this way. They said, like the energy is what made us successful. Now, one of my mentors, right, and someone that is an investor in our company, and I brought him in not because we needed the capital. I brought him in because I wanted his mind. Does that make sense? I said, I'm willing to give up. You've met Pavan, Tim, right? Pavan Argobal.
Yep.
Yeah. Owner of SunWest Mortgage Company and also Angel AI, which is one of the most robust artificial intelligence platforms that's out there for finance and beyond, right? And Pavan said to me this, and I'll give this to you, and then I'll talk to you about some energy hacks during the holidays. He said, all mistakes that you make are because you lacked energy. All the big mistakes that you make in your life are because you actually lacked energy. And I thought about that. And he goes, think about it. I go, can you explain that to me? He goes, yeah. He said, when you lack energy, you cut corners. When you lack energy, you don't follow your plans. When you lack energy, you partner with the wrong people. You make poor decisions. He says, the most important asset that you have is your energy. And I went, oh, and that's been like, that was one of those things that you have those moments in life where you're like, oh, okay, got it. Right. And so during the holidays, it's sort of funny because everyone goes, here comes cold and flu season. No, here comes you eating like shit and drinking like a fish season. Right. And because you do that, you end up shocking your body, and it's difficult to have your best year ever if you're sick. It's difficult to have your best year ever if you're operating at a 5 of 10 in terms of your level of energy that you actually have. So am I telling you not to have fun? No. But for me, here's what I'm doing. I'm actually going keto. I'm back on keto, Tim, right? And I've been off it for about 2 months. I'm back, right? And number 2, I'm not drinking during the holidays. I made a commitment not to drink. Now, I'm not saying you have to do that, but I'm saying just make more intelligent decisions, right? Instead of 5 drinks, 2. Instead of 6 Reese's peanut butter cuts, 1, right? And just make slight edge decisions to be able to actually do something different this holiday season than you've done in the past. Because if you always do what you've always done, I can guarantee you'll continue to get what you've always got. So you've got to it starts now, my friends. The whole change starts 11/21. 11/21, 11 days left that are calendar day or that are work days, legit work days, 21 days that are calendar days, right? You want your best year ever. You got to come out strong, because as goes the first month, so goes the first quarter, as goes the first quarter. There's a good probability that the rest of the year goes well as well too. Okay. So Timmy, it's
That's
ain't
awesome.
rocket science. It ain't rocket science, but it sure is effective. And that's what I've got everyone inside of ecosystem. Oh, by the way, I do want to say something to you guys. I'm running for our entire G3 nation, I'm running a business planning clinic on what is next week, the 17th. All right. So if you want to just, I think we've got like a 7-day free trial. Like I'm doing it only for my internal system, right? Tuesday, December the 7th. It's at 11 o'clock Pacific, 12 o'clock Mountain. Do the math all the way to the East Coast. You can get signed up for the 7-day free trial, come into the business planning workshop, cancel out, whatever it is that you need to do. I'm not doing it externally for the rest of the world. I'm only doing it internally, but you could go to g3nation.com if that's something that you're interested in, and like see what we're all about, right? So we've got morning huddles at 7 a.m. Pacific, 8 a.m. Mountain time every single morning. So just a fun value add that I love to give to you, and I'd love to see you guys on that business planning clinic as well too, because it's super critical that you have that clarity, because clarity is power. So awesome. From me to you guys, happy holidays. Yeah, I know today I talked all about work, grind, grit, determination, but also like there's a lot of celebration. We're still in the game of real estate right now. There's a lot of agents that aren't. They have a lot to be grateful for. We got a year ahead of us that could be one of our best years ever, and will be your best year ever. And I just want to leave you with this thought: 6,000 equals a million, baby. I love that thought. It's I'm gonna have that put on my gravestone, Tim. 6,000 equals a million, right?
It's super. Well, think about if I think about the points that really stood out to me, if half of the real estate agents haven't done a transaction, they're not active. Half of the market isn't even showing up for the race. And you're talking about a marathon mentality that has daily discipline that produces consistent results. And that's what we love about your methodology, your coaching. Obviously, we're a resource to support that. And the agents that we talk to who have that 2 to 3, because I did math while I was doing this. So it's 65,000 dials. Let's say about 1 out of, or 8% of your conversations, or 8% of your dials turned into conversations is 65,000 dials. In a year, it's 300 a day. It's super easy to do 300 a day on a 3-line dialer to get to those conversations and to those deal quantities. It totally makes sense. And I take 18 days for calling. You're not going to call every business day you can. So you dial that in, and what's it really required? It's about 300 dials a day. You're definitely going to get the conversations you need in, and have a pipeline that is blowing up from April for as long as you maintain that discipline. So I'd love to see if there's any questions from the folks who are here. If that's possible, do that. Take your mic off. That would be great. I would love to give Coach Pipes a round of applause for an awesome presentation today. Thank you very, very much.
Sean, I know you, bro. Like, we've met before, haven't we?
Sean Wade he's here.
There's Sean Wade, Sean Disbro. Disbro looks really, really familiar, man.
Where you at, Sean? Where do you work? Where's your market?
It's in the market where he can't figure out how to turn his stuff on. So he says, yeah, I thought it was you, dude. It's so good to see you, bro. So awesome. Wade. Oh, Wade, you got a question, brother? Yes. Oh, you're muted too.
Because this sucks.
You're good. We're hearing you now.
There we go. Bill?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was with Mike Ferry. I was with Neil Schwartz.
Dude, I thought so. I thought you're old school with me, OG. So good to see you, man. Very good to see you, man.
Great presentation. Who was the guy you mentioned at the beginning? Dan Pinion?
Dan Pena, P-E-N-A, D-A-N-P-E-N-A.
Thank you.
You'll love him because he's very 1990s Mike Ferry, bro. Like very 1990s Mike Ferry, like strong.
I used to go for sure. Yeah. I did 3 years of one-on-one.
I know. Great. Yeah, I knew I recognized you. It's good to see you, dude. Sean Wade, did you have a question, man?
I didn't. I was actually trying to turn my camera on to say hi, and I clicked the wrong button. But it's good to see you again, Coach.
Good to see you, dude, man. Absolutely. Yeah. wonderful to see you guys, man. Like I absolutely love what Tim is doing here. I mean, it just plays, the entire organization plays into what we believe, that the best businesses don't ignore marketing, but they're prospecting based and marketing enhanced. You know what I mean? So, and that you take great marketing, whether that be email marketing, social media marketing, direct mail marketing, you layer it on top of a foundation of discipline, of prospecting and skills, right? And that marketing gets enhanced, right? Whereas a lot of people will just market, never build their discipline or their skills, and that marketing becomes a crutch and, you know, a very difficult thing when markets shift, because you can't outspend a declining market. And a lot of people felt that this year for sure. So good job, man. Yeah, just bro.
Do you have any thoughts on the new FCC rules after the first?
I really don't. Unfortunately, I haven't studied it enough. I will own what it is that I own and what it is that I don't. And I don't have enough data to be able to actually answer that question effectively in terms of how it's all going to play out, you know? So, yeah. But here's what I will say. Everyone thought it was the end of the world when we got to the change that was happening with the DOJ and NAR, right? And really what we saw is actually commissions for buyer's agents has gone up, right? Like they've actually gone up. Why? Because we now have the ability to be able to negotiate that ourselves versus being left with a selling agent. So, I think, again, I don't have an answer for you, but if it goes the way that DOJ and NAR has, then, you know, I think it'll have less impact than what most people are expecting. So.
On that topic, I would say if you pay for leads from a service that is taking form fills and reselling it, or deals and reselling them, I would pay attention to the new pricing and the new policies starting in January, because you can't take a form right now of somebody who's interested in looking at a home or is interested in finding a realtor and sell that lead to multiple parties. It's one-to-one consent. So what's that's going to do to a price of a lead when they can't remarket it or provide it to multiple folks out of one form fill is going to be interesting to see pricing wise.
Yeah, they're going to have to go up on their pricing in order to be able to actually offset multiple sales, you know?
Correct.
So
Yeah, because I read statistic, there was like some 48 million leads that were sold against 4 million transactions. So what's that tell you, right?
which plays into what I always teach, which is that what's the cost to make a call? What's the cost to be able to prospect? Right. Okay. So awesome.
Right on.
Thank you very much, Coach. You're awesome.
Yeah.
We appreciate your insight, your wisdom. It's always timely and it's always futuristic, empowering. So we just love it. Love it so much. And thank you, everybody from the ShareGroup, all of our clients and friends who joined us. We appreciate you participating as well. And let's finish 24 strong and go crush it in 25.
Yeah. See you guys in the new year. Take care, guys. Right now. Let's go. Thanks, Tim.